Good morning, third grade. Happy Wednesday. So before we get started, as usual, on our read aloud, we are going to go ahead and take a look at our daily assignments. So let's see here. Um, the first thing that I wanted to share with you is that the animal sanctuary sent a letter to you this morning. And so all you need to do is click here to read it. I'm really proud of you. They're really proud of you. And I hope you had fun doing your activity. And not only that, but helping out the animal sanctuary. So excellent job. So read that letter first thing this morning. And today we have office hours and you have small groups. And I'm also going to put the link in here for Mr. Kirby's 11 a.m. Zoom if that's something that you're interested in. Today you are going to complete slide 17. What was your favorite birthday? So here's my example if you are interested in knowing what my favorite birthday was. Grammar today, continuing with that optional challenge of the personal dictionary, if that's something that you want to get started on. In reading, you are going to read chapter 8 and then complete slides 11 and 12. So make sure that you're getting all of those slides done. There are 2 slides for chapter 8 today. All right, in writing, changing things up a little bit from last week. So in writing, you wrote your first draft yesterday of The Best Place to Live, and almost all of you posted it on Seesaw. And then the recording was really helpful for me because I was able to actually hear what it is that you wrote, because sometimes it's hard for me to read. You guys did a great job on that, and I did give you some feedback. So today you are going to use your rubric and use the feedback that I gave you, go through it and add anything that you need to add, edit anything that you need to edit, so that tomorrow when you write your final draft, it's the piece that you are most proud of. You've already made those changes. You've already gone through your rubric and kind of self-evaluated where you're at. So that's what you're going to do today. And as usual, the model will be right here for you to click to get further instructions or an example of that. Okay, math, I want to explain a little bit today. You are doing the Unit 10 math pretest, okay? The pretest that we usually do in class together. So the pretest is under classwork, and then it's under math. It says Unit 10 pretest, and you have 2 options. If you have a printer, that's awesome. Please print this out so that you can go ahead and take the pretest. If you don't, just go to the link and open up the PDF, and then you can just use scratch paper to write out the problems. Just do the best that you can. Now, my video that I have linked right here, okay, it's in 2 parts because I can only have up to 15 minutes per YouTube. Okay, so it's like a 20-minute video altogether. I go through this pretty quickly because if I didn't go through it quickly, it would take me probably an hour to go through. So you have options. You may either take the pretest on your own and then use my video to go through the answers, or you can take it along with me, but you're probably going to have to pause after each problem so that you can kind of work through it by yourself, because I do go through it quickly. Okay, so those are your options for that. You do have a math assessment tomorrow. It's a lot shorter than this, and you're going to do a great job, but I want you to go through your pretest. Social studies, slides 17 through 20, and then complete the chart on slide 21. That's the last of the Burlingame history slides. So you will have a little quiz tomorrow. It's open book, open note, open slides, I guess I should say. So you'll do just fine on that tomorrow, but finish that off, okay? And now we are going to stop sharing and get to my favorite thing, reading. If you want, actually, I have my book right here. This is the book I'm currently reading. It's called The Scent Keeper, S-C-E-N-T, Scent Keeper. And I'm almost done. I started it over the weekend, and I'm on page 266, and there's 300 pages. So I'm really excited. It's a good book. I can tell you a little bit more about it maybe tomorrow when I get to the end. Okay, hopefully it gets to the end. So let's go ahead and get started on the BFG. It's called A Trouble Humper for the Flesh Lump Eater. They is always having 50 winks before they go scuppering off to hunt human beings in the evening, the BFG said. He stopped for a few moments to let Sophie have a better look. Giants is only sleeping every then and now, he said, not nearly as much as human beings. Human beings is crazy for sleeping. Is it ever occurring to you that a human being who is 50 is spending about 20 years sleeping fast? I must admit that never occurred to me, Sophie said. You should allow it to occur to you, the BFG said. Imagine it, please. This human being who says he is 50 has been fast asleep for 20 years and is not even knowing where he is, not even doing anything, not even thinking. It's a funny thought, Sophie said. Exactly, the BFG said. So, what I was trying to explain to you is that a human being who says he's 50 is not 50, he is only 30. Without me, Sophie said, I'm 8. He was not 8 at all, the BFG said. Human being babies and little chidlers are spending half their time sleeping, so he was only 4. I'm 8, Sophie said. You may think you was 8, the BFG said, but you has only spent 4 years of your life with your little eyes open. You was only 4, and please stop higgling me. Titchy little snapper whippers like you should not be higgling around with an old sage and onions who is hundreds of years more than you. How much do giants sleep? Sophie asked. They is never wasting much time snozzling, the BFG said. 2 or 3 hours is enough. When do you sleep? Sophie asked. Even less, the BFG answered. I is sleeping only once in a blue baboon. Sophie, peeping out from her pocket, examined the 9 sleeping giants. They looked even more grotesque now than when they were awake. Sprawled out across the yellow plain, they covered an area about the size of a football field. What word did I just hear? The word area, the size of the football field, the surface of that. Most of them were lying on their backs with their enormous mouths wide open, and they were snoring like foghorns. The noise was awful. Suddenly, the BFG gave a jump in the air. By gum frog, he cried. I was just having the most whoopsie whiffling idea. What? Sophie said. Wait, he cried. Hold your horse feathers. Keep your skirt on. Just you wait to see what I is going to bring about. He galloped off fast to his cave, with Sophie hanging on tight to the rim of the pocket. He rolled back the stone. He entered the cave. He was very excited. He was moving quickly. You stay where you is in my pocket, Huggy Bee, he said. We is doing this lovely bit of buck swashing both together. He laid aside the dream-catching net, but hung on to the suitcase. Oh, I think I know what he's going to do. He ran across to the other side of the cave and grabbed the long trumpet thing, the one he'd been carrying when Sophie had first seen him in the village. With a suitcase in one hand and the trumpet in the other, he dashed out of the cave. What is he up to now? Sophie wondered. Keep your head up good, the BFG said. Then you will get a fine winkle of what's going on. When the BFG came near to the sleeping giants, he slowed his pace. He began moving softly. He crept on his toes towards the ugly brutes. They were still snoring loudly. They looked repulsive, filthy, diabolical. The BFG tiptoed around them. He went past the gizzard gulper, the blood bottler, the meat dribbler, the child chewer, then stopped. He had reached the flesh lump eater. He pointed at him. Then he looked down at Sophie and gave her a big wink. He knelt on the ground and very quietly he opened the suitcase. He took out the glass jar containing the terrible, nightmarish trouble humper. At that point, Sophie guessed what was going to happen next. Ouch, she thought. This could be rather dangerous. She crouched lower in the pocket so that only the top of her head and her eyes were showing. She wanted to be ready to duck out of sight very fast should anything go wrong. They were about 10 feet away from the flesh on Peter's face. The snorting noise he was making was disgusting. Every now and again, a big bubble of spit formed between his 2 open lips, and then it would burst with a splash and cover his face with saliva. Taking infinite care, the BFG unscrewed the top of the glass jar and tipped the squiggling, squirming, faintly scarlet struggle humper into the wide end of his long trumpet. He put the other end of the trumpet to his lips. He aimed the instrument directly at the flesh lumper's face. He took a deep breath, puffed out his cheeks, and then whoop, he blew. Sophie saw a flash of pale red go darting towards the giant's face. For a split second, it hovered above the face. Then it was gone. It seemed to have been sucked up the giant's nose, but it all happened so quickly, Sophie couldn't be sure. He had better be skittling away quick to where it's safe, the BFG whispered. He trotted off for about 100 yards and then stopped. He crouched low to the earth. Now, he said, we was waiting for the flames to begin. They didn't have long to wait. The air was suddenly pierced by the most fearful roar Sophie had ever heard, and she saw the flesh lump eater's body, all 54 feet of it, rise up off the ground and fall back again with a thump. Then it began to wriggle and twist and bounce about in the most violent fashion. It was quite frightening to watch. Ew, roared the flesh lump eater. BFG whispered. The terrible truckle humming nightmare is beginning to hit him. Serves him right, Sophie said. She could feel no sympathy for this great brute who ate children as though they were sugar lumps. Save us! Screamed the flesh lump eater, thrashing about madly. He's after me! He's getting me! The thrashing of limbs and the waving of arms became more violent by the second. It was an awesome thing to watch such a massive creature have such mighty convulsions. It's Jack, bellowed the flesh lump eater. It's the gruesome, grunchious Jack. Jack's after me. He's rat crackling me. He's spike sticking me. He's splash plunking me. It's the terrible, fright swiping Jack. The flesh eater was rifling about over the ground like some colossal tortured snake. Oh, spare me, Jack, he yelled. Don't hurt me, Jack. Who's this Jack he's on about? Sophie whispered. Jack is the only human being all giants are afraid of. Can you guys guess what Jack it is? They're absolutely terrified of Jack. They're hearing that Jack is the famous giant killer. Save me, screamed the flesh lump eater. Have mercy on this poor little giant. The beanstalk. He's coming at me with his terrible spike-sticking beanstalk. Take it away. I was begging you, Jack. I was praying you not to touch us with your terrible spike-sticking beanstalk. Here's some of the pictures. So I think that this chapter is going a little bit long, so I want to stop before we hit our YouTube 15-minute mark. We only have 2 pages left, so I'll finish the rest of it for you tomorrow. But this is a pretty fun place to stop because I definitely want to know what's happening next. But something for you to think about. Do you think that they should have done that? I mean, I know that he's not the nicest giant. I mean, anyone who eats children is not a very kind giant, right? But what do you think? Do you think that he deserved to have the BFG give him that horrible, awful dream? I don't know. I would love to hear your opinion on that. All right. Have a great morning, and I'll see you all at 10.